All right, Dana, you could start.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry, I got a baby eating my face. All right. So, welcome everyone to tonight's call. We have a great speaker who I'm really excited to hear from on with us. Uh, she always comes prepared and she always comes with a lot of info to share. So that should be a great call. We're going to start with some recognition, of course, first, as always. Let's welcome our new coaches to our teams. We've got Kim, Rosalie, Sheila, Hannah, Karen, and Joe. Welcome to the team, guys. We hope you're on the call, and if you're not on the call, we hope you're going to listen to the recording, and we are excited to have you. We're excited that you are starting with us at this great time, and we can't wait to see what all transpires and how you guys grow and integrate with our team and everything you guys do in the future. So welcome, and congrats for signing up. Next up, we have Success Club so far for the month of January. It's pretty awesome to see all these huge numbers. Key Perry still up there at the top. That is awesome, Key. We've got Key, Amanda, Christine, Trisha, Christy, Karen, and Danielle all in the 10 plus club. So that is really, really awesome. I know some of these numbers are not quite updated, because they take 2 to 3 days to show up, especially with the new challenge pack. That third one takes the additional week. So if you see a number that's off, don't be nervous about it. I'm sure it'll show up soon. And you guys still have tomorrow. If you are 4 and under, do not be upset about it. Just get to work tomorrow. You guys have all day tomorrow. We've got a great deal going on with this $199. Talk to people about it. Just send out a couple messages and see what transpires. Don't give up. Do not give up because it's the last day of the month. All right. And of course, we have our shout outs this week, which I'm excited for. Every week, we are shouting people out. We are shouting people out within our team. We want you guys to be the ones to do this. We want you to recognize coaches that you feel are going above and beyond in some way or another. It doesn't have to be by numbers. And they don't have to be your downline or your upline. They can be sister, brother, cousin, however they are on our teams. So, Miss Maureen Lamarca had a recognition this week, so go ahead, Maureen.
I just needed to unmute myself. I don't even think she's on. Okay. Anyway, hopefully she's going to pop on and she's going to hear some of this. But I wanted to give a shout out to Lana Shapiro because she is rocking everything right now. She has hit Success Club this month. She is rocking her like page. I don't even know how many thousands now she's up to. She has 100% branched out of her introverted, safe, quiet shell, and this girl is on fire, and she is posting all the time. She is making videos and is now going to get certified to teach Size Live. So this is a girl who hated exercise. Okay. For real, hated exercise. To just drinking Shakeology with me. Okay, I'll drink Shakeology. And then I think she got pregnant with her son and had to stop because it was making her sick. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to sign up as a coach. And she's taken it. I mean, she was a little bit slow to start because she was getting in her own way, but she's been absolutely, positively phenomenal and even an inspiration to me. And I am so proud of her.
Yes, I have to just add to that because I see her post all the time now, and I never used to see her posting anything, and she's all over my newsfeed, and it's always these awesome workout videos and motivational stuff, so it's really awesome.
Yeah, she is kicking ass for real.
And then Jennifer Tan wanted to do another recognition, so go ahead, Jen.
Hi guys, thanks. This will just take a minute. I'm not sure if Carmi is on, but Carmela Emmerich, she's a colleague and a fellow teacher. We've been friends at work for the past 10 years. and she just had her 365 her anniversary. And she's really starting to get back in. She was on fire, and then life happens as it does to so many of us. And she's really back into it. She's going to do this training with me. She's been posting. She's got Success Club points this month. So, and you can see from her picture that she's back on track for her goals. She's looking amazing and just healthy. She's setting a good example. So I'm super proud of her and happy to see where 2017 takes her.
Thanks, Jen. Awesome job, Carmela. Really, congratulations, ladies. And with that, I'm going to go back over to our slide for Nina. And I just want to, again, thank Nina for hopping on and welcome her to our call. And a little bit about Nina real quick. She's been a coach for 7 years. She is a 2-star diamond. She is a Success Club 5 All-Star legend. She has lost over 100 pounds using Beachbody programs. And I know her from New Jersey Market Council. We are on Market Council with Trisha together. And like I said earlier, she always comes prepared with lots of good info. So I'm excited to hear tonight's call. So whenever you're ready, Nina, you can unmute yourself and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me on tonight. I'm excited to speak with you. I do have to share something. I've never really shared my story, so you guys are going to hear it first. I know, crazy, right? We're a coach. What do you mean you never shared your story? I share bits and pieces of things, but I've never really shared where I've come from and this whole coaching whirlwind, why I've been a coach for so long. So I'm really excited to let you guys listen in and maybe give me some feedback after. But I have some really, really great information tied to this that might help you connect with a deeper, more memorable purpose of why you're here and why you're a coach. And hopefully what you hear tonight will inspire you. Awesome. So thank you so much. Okay, so my earliest memory of my childhood was of my mother leaving for work. And I know a lot of people here know about that. Obviously, we have kids or we've been in that scenario. And I can remember I was 2 years old and I'm standing in the window and I'm banging on the glass and I'm like, let me go. I want to go. I'll be good. I promise. Because in my rational 2-year-old mind, me being at work in a corporate environment was perfect, right? It's awesome. My mom would get so much done and I would get all the attention and we would be totally happy. It would be like heaven, right? And I think because of that scenario, maybe I have some abandonment issues. I don't know. Not really. But anyway, so I can tell you right now that living in a single parent household was something that I treasure. I, grew up in a single parent household. My mother was very hardworking, but in a way it kind of scarred me a little bit. And I'll tell you why. All right. So my mom was a hard worker and she did the best that she could to provide for us and our family. There was 5 of us living in a small 2-bedroom apartment, and we lived in Pomona, New York. It was my grandmother, me, my brother, and my older sister, and my mom. And since my mom had to work a lot, she often missed out on helping me with homework, school plays, recitals, those dreaded parent-teacher conferences, and, just other things that were happening in my life as a young child. And where she lacked in availability, my grandmother really helped to pick up the pieces and hold our family together. And she became my best friend and my support system. So I was completely devastated when my grandmother had to leave our home when I was about 10 years old, and she had to help my aunt. She ended up traveling to Maryland because my aunt was pregnant and going through a divorce. And so that really kind of shook me to my core a little bit because, my siblings are getting older and here I am, a young child, and my mother's working all the time. And I just really felt like I didn't have that support system anymore. That used to be my grandmother when she was there. So, accepting that these changes were starting to happen, not all kids get over drastic changes in the family home. And I can definitely say for me, it definitely stuck with me. And so, what followed were very lonely child to teen years, where I felt like I really needed to have support. And like I said, my mother did the best that she could. when you're a single parent and you're raising kids and you're working hard, I know on her end, she would probably felt like there was things that she was missing out on herself. And, there wasn't really much that she could do. And I don't fault her for that. She did the best that she could. Okay. But you don't know the wrath of a teenage girl. And I'm sure all of you can kind of relate with that if you have teens. And earlier on the call, we were talking about, teens. There's so much pressure and emotions wrapped up with hormones and so many things going on. And if you combine that with a parent that really can't be there, you can only imagine the pressure it's going to put on a young girl like myself. And what made things even worse and more crazy is that when my mom was in her mid-30s, she was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. So on top of being the rock of our family, she now had rheumatoid arthritis. And so our roles switched dramatically. I never expected to grow up so fast. I'm guessing now that I was just built that way. And I see that how my life has progressed since then really leads me to understand that everything happens for a reason. As she got sicker and sicker, it was really up to me to play the role of parent. Now I had to step in. I did the cleaning, I did the cooking. And the hardest part of that is I would see her and she would be so weak and so frail. And I would have to peel her out of her clothes because she was just too tired from the flare-ups of her disease, even though she had to work full time because she was the provider of our home, the rock of our home. And, to topple on top of that, she started to go into early menopause. And if anybody has dealt with a parent that has gone through early menopause, you can understand the hormonal imbalance and the depression that sometimes sets in, and just, the chemical relationship of your emotions and how you act towards other people. So it was really, really hard on her. And I remember just having this shift in our relationship, even though we tried to mend it as best as possible, there was just this huge shift in the way that we related. It didn't really feel like there was this deep mother and daughter bond connection that we should have had. We should have had that. And there was just something that just never really connected. And as much as I could, as much as I loved her, and as much as I cared for her and tried to be a good student and apply myself, I guess there was just things in her own life that just didn't allow her to find that connection. And so things definitely changed. I remember one of the conversations we were having, because when you're a young girl and you're pretty and you're in school, you're going to have all kinds of, attention and things like that. And I remember her looking at me and she said, "Don't you ever get pregnant? You could live with me. You'd have to go live in a home. I'm not taking care of any more babies." And you can imagine being a young girl, I was 15 at the time, how that would have just torn me to pieces. My emotions and just my stability, my idea of what our home really was. And it was just things like that. And the verbal abuse started, and it caused me to have just this low self-esteem. It caused me to start making the wrong choices, second guessing myself. And it's funny because those threats actually turned into her biggest nightmare, because at 16, I became pregnant and I was about to be a teen mother myself. So I know that disconnected and that lack of guidance and that lack of us really finding a place where we could connect, caused me to follow a path that I shouldn't have been on. And I was so afraid to be abandoned that I hid my pregnancy. So she didn't find out that I was pregnant until the hospital called her because I was in labor. I had no prenatal care. By the grace of God, I have no idea how I got through it, but I did. And on February 17th, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. And my life changed, my worldview changed. I knew deep inside, even though I was only 16, I knew deep inside that I myself had to do something to change that path that I had gone down with my mom. 2 days later, while I was still in the hospital recovering, social services came and took my child away from me. You see, when you're 16 and you don't have a plan for a baby and you don't really know what you're going to be doing, the hospital by law has to call the state. And my child, during her first week of life, had to spend that time in foster care instead of in her mother's arms. And that's something that I have to always carry with me for the rest of my life. So I had to work and I had to prove that I could take care of her at 16 as best as I could. I had to find out, what I needed. You can only imagine me being 16, trying to figure out what bottles are and pumps and all these different things as a young mom. But, I pulled some things together. I begged my mom to help me. And she said, as long as I took full responsibility, that she would do that. And, to make matters worse, the child's father decided not to be in her life as well. So you can only imagine how hard that was, being through this traumatic experience, really feeling alone, and then having social services step in and take your child away from you. You have to work so hard to get your life back in order, and then to not have that support system. So she tried as best as she could. So about a year later, we were working. I was, I had a part-time job. I was still going through school, taking care of my daughter as best as I could. We ended up getting into a bad argument over a stupid cell phone bill. How many people have ever done that when they were younger, right? We all had a stupid cell phone. And I don't know, something in her snapped. I don't know if it was whatever trauma she was going through or a bad day or, job pressures or whatever, but at the end of that argument, she had kicked me and my daughter out of our home. And so at 17, I became homeless with my 1-year-old child. It was the middle of winter. I had just the clothes on my back and I was homeless. I slept in bus stations, diners. I was one of those people that you saw collecting cans. At times I had to steal. I'm not proud of that, but you have to do what you have to do. And I bounced around a couple of homes that my friends let me stay in for about 3 months. And my older sister ended up reaching out to me and allowing me to come stay with her. And what I found out was during the time that I was homeless, my mom actually moved out of our family home into another apartment. So I was completely abandoned by her during that time. And so luckily I had, an angel on my side, and my sister allowed me to come stay with her. She actually was able to re-secure the lease of our home, and I got my bedroom back, and I stayed there for a couple of years. So the hard part about it was where do you go from there? Everything that you've known is completely destroyed. Your family home situation, everything that you can trust in your life is completely destroyed. Okay. And I knew that one of the things that I had to do was to rekindle my relationship with my mother, because she was sick and I have this young child, and this is the only opportunity that my child's going to be able to have with her grandmother. So I worked really hard over the years to mend that relationship. And I'm happy to say that I was able to do that. It wasn't easy. There was definitely a lot of rough patches along the way, but I did my best to put myself through school, get better jobs, make better choices and better decisions, and really work to mend that relationship. And so, over the years, she ended up getting sicker and sicker and lost her fight with rheumatoid arthritis in 2010. She was 59 years old. And I remember the last word she said to me was, "I'm so proud of you." And that really changed my perspective on things, because you just never know where things are going to go, right? I lived that story of struggle. I lived that abandonment. I lived that fight for survival. And what I found more than anything, what I craved more than anything, was that love and connection, to feel like I had a bond with someone and a way to do something significant. And I just wanted to matter. I wanted to feel like I mattered and I could do things that mattered. And that core purpose is what led me to becoming a coach. And it's the reason why I'm here now and here today. So now we can start to get into, what does that path mean? What does my story mean to me, right? What is my why? So if you asked me a couple years ago what my why was, I could give you an answer, but honestly, I wasn't very certain. And really until recently, I wasn't very certain what my why was until I went to the GoPro event in December in Las Vegas. And I heard Tony Robbins speak about something called the 6 human needs. How many of you heard about that, the 6 human needs? You guys know about that? All right, we're going to talk about it. So one of the things that we know about when we become a coach is we ask people what their why are, right? That's really important. What is your why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to make a change? Okay. But one of the things that I found even through my own journey is that whys are difficult to define because they're most often tied to circumstances, right? Circumstances that change often. And because those circumstances change often, our why often updates, right? Very frequently. But what if we could tap into something deeper and more meaningful in a way that would ground us and keep us focused on our goals, okay? So I believe that if we can connect our story, our life story, to these 6 core human needs, it'll help you to define your why in a way that'll allow you to connect with people in a more meaningful way and provide something that we rarely learn about in Beachbody and in any network marketing and really in a lot of different areas that have to do with a people-related business. And that's how to deliver fulfillment, okay? How can you help people to become fulfilled through this opportunity? And it doesn't matter what results you have or what products you love, okay, or what shake you drink or what anybody is really telling you to do, all right? Providing fulfillment is really what we're supposed to be doing here in Beachbody. It's not about what we're selling, right? It's about helping people connect with something so deep and so meaningful and so purposeful based on something where they've been or what their life has really come to be at this moment. And that will help you to really connect with them on a level that will keep them there, keep them as a coach, keep them as a challenger, keep them loyal to this opportunity, okay? If you can help people connect with this business in a way that fulfills them, you'll have lifelong customers, you'll have lifelong coaches, but you'll find a way to better support and help more people, okay? If our goal is to help people achieve a healthy, fulfilling life, to achieve true fulfillment and to explore those emotions and needs that are controlling you is really the way that's going to help you appreciate what drives and motivates other people. So you really have to understand yourself better before you can effectively help others, okay? One of the things we know about humans are they're motivated, or they can be motivated, by the desire to fulfill those 6 human needs, okay? These needs are not wants, they're not desires, which are often confused by our why, right? But they're the profound needs, and they form a basis of every choice that we make, okay? They drive our decisions, our behaviors on an almost daily basis. And when you develop an awareness to why we do what we do, it's gonna help you to help more people. So when you only ask why, you're often driven to give a choice of an answer that fits best, right? It's an answer of convenience. But if we can really tap into these 6 human needs and maybe your top 3 that are guiding you or that you're drawn to, and you can help figure that out in other people, you're going to be able to serve them in a way that provides fulfillment. So I'm going to shift over here to my slides. I have slides. How am I doing? Okay? Yay, thumbs up. Thank you for the encouragement. All right. All right. Can everybody see that? And if I'm looking over here, it's because I have 2 screens, so I'm not like weird. All right. So what do we know about the vital belief system, right? It's good coaches duplicate behaviors that help people find fulfillment in life. We know that the vital belief system is something like this, right? Their experience goes up as their growth goes forward, from a newbie all the way up to a coach. But it's really here in this advocate stage, right? This is what you're working towards. It's not so much the coach stage, but you're really working to help people become an advocate, right? You're helping them find that fulfillment leading up to this level, not the coach level, because that's a whole nother thing. But really here, if you can help people get to the point where they're advocates of what we do, whether they decide to move on as a coach or they decide to stay a customer, it's still going to do two things. It's going to bring people to you through them, or you're going to grow them and they're going to grow your team and they're going to grow their own team. All right. So the vital process, we know about this. We help people get started. We help to get them results. They transition to a coach and they develop and mentor other people. But even in this process between getting started and getting results, right, is that level where we have to help them find the fulfillment in what they're doing to change their life and what they're really drawn to. So here are the 6 core human needs, okay? The first one is certainty, variety, significance, growth, love and connection, and contribution, okay? And so we're going to talk about them. So number 1 is certainty, right? And I want you to think about yourself when you see these 6 core human needs, okay? And star any of them that kind of stand out to you. So the first one is the need for safety, stability, security, comfort, order, predictability, control, and consistency. And I'm sure there's some people on here right now that are like, yeah, I could kind of see that in myself, right? The next one is variety. That is the need for surprise, challenges, excitement, difference, chaos. Maybe you're the type of person that's driven to the disorder and the chaos, adventure, change, novelty, and even uncertainty. And so what's really important to understand about these first 2 is that certainty and uncertainty work in tandem with each other, okay? So you could crave security, but then also want surprise and challenge, right? You want variety. So they work in tandem, right? But here's the thing to know about these is that if there's an imbalance in one area, it could cause you to be overabundant in another. So that in itself could cause you to make certain choices that could throw things off whack for you. So like, for instance, if you need stability and comfort, but you like to, I don't know, let's say you like to spend your money shopping all the time and you always want something new and different, then, you know, your stability and your comfort is going to really be jacked up because you're going to have these high credit card bills and all these different things. So like they can be out of whack in a way. Okay. Significance. So this is the need to have meaning, to feel special, maybe a little prideful, to feel needed, wanted, to have a sense of importance and worthy of love. Okay. So I think some people can probably relate with this one as well. This one for me, and I realize now this is one of mine, significance. Love and connection. It's the need for communication, to feel unified, to have that approval, maybe a little bit of attachment, right? To feel connected with people, intimate and loved by other human beings. And this is my second one. So significance and love and connection are the first 2 that I'm drawn to. And then growth. This is the need for constant emotional, intellectual, and spiritual development. Know thyself to grow thyself. Okay, so the big thing about growth, and I think this is true for all of us, is, you know, a big reason why we push personal development in Beachbody and any network marketing business is because, you know, we're coming in at our highest level of anxiety with our lowest amount of skills. So growth is something that is totally necessary to be good at what we want to be good at here. And then the last one is contribution. The need to give beyond ourselves, to care, protect, and serve others. Okay. So thinking of those, I want you to ask yourself, how do I relate to these 6 core human needs? How am I meeting my 6 core human needs? And we all, okay, we may be drawn to some, but we all have these, right? It's all in common. So either you're meeting some and not meeting others, but I want you to really think about how they're working. All right, how you can start to define what areas in your core human needs are lacking. What needs am I drawn to most based on my life story? And nobody knows your life story better than you. So when you start to think about that, start thinking about what are some of the things that have happened, right? Ask yourself, And this is how you can also ask your challengers or your coaches, right? Are there any significant events that happen in your life that cause a shift in your mindset, behavior, or lifestyle? And all of us can think back to certain things that have happened in our lives that caused a rift in some way. You know, either it was a trauma or it was a happy moment or whatever it is. There are certain moments in our life that have caused some kind of significant shift. All right. And so you can give the definition of the 6 core human needs, and I'll give you these slides also so you'll have them. But ask them which 2 or 3, or ask yourself, you identify with most, okay? And now once you have identified which ones you're drawn to, now you can think about writing out your why. Because if significance is important to you, right? Like it's important to me, that's one of my drivers. Significance is important, then that means that I have to uphold myself to a certain standard. That means that I have to find ways to impact people in a meaningful way. If love and connection is another one of mine, then that means that I have to work on my relationship building skills and really, you know, being a better friend and a better mother and a better mentor and a better wife and things like that. Those are things that I have to work on that fulfill me, those 2 things. Because when I work on those, it's going to flow through into what drives me every single day. It's going to flow through to why I wake up and take care of my business and take care of my family and do the things that are important to me, right? It's going to always center me back to what is the most important, because I'm fulfilling my needs, and that's going to help me fulfill other people in a deeper way. All right, you guys with me? So often we're told, right, we can't be selfish, especially as moms. My God, right? We do everything for other people. And we neglect ourselves in such a way that really helps. We end up hurting other people too sometimes because we neglect ourselves, all right? But chances are that when you work with this, right, and you work with a why that is deeply emotional driving force based on your core principles, your core values, your core driver for fulfillment, when you have that and you write out your why and you have that emotional driving force, it's huge. It's an amazing breakthrough, right, that you can connect with, that might be holding you back in your business, might be holding you back in your relationships, might be holding you back in a way that keeps you from really taking yourself in many ways to the next level, right? And it'll really help you to find your goals in a meaningful way. So at the end of the day, this is how we help more people. All right, so I have some things I'm going to give you, some questions I'm going to ask you, okay? And all right, so how do you identify your top 3, right? We talked a little bit about it, but so think about it. What events happen that cause a shift in your lifestyle? Keeping those in mind, refer back to the 6 human needs and identify the top 3 that stand out to you the most in relation to your life story, and then write those out with your why. Now rewrite your why, and I guarantee you it'll be more meaningful. So how do you coach people through this, right? Like if you gave this to a coach and you said, okay, I want you to do this thing, or you gave this to a challenger, you said, I want you to do this exercise and get back to me and we're going to talk about it, right? Now what do you do? How do you take it to the next level? So I'll tell you some things. Okay, so number 1, let's say certainty is something either you or they are drawn to. These people need more check-ins, they need more encouragement, they need a plan devised up front, right? They need that security, they need to feel like they know everything that's coming into it, right? And they need a structure and a process to follow. If variety is one of the drivers, then they need to change things up. Maybe 30-day challenges are better for them. Right? That works better. They need some kind of a value and reward system and surprises. They need things that are going to help them have more fun and have more engagement, right? They're kind of like the life of the party. If significance is a driver, these people need to know what impact they have on others, right? They need to be recognized often. They need to know that they're valued. And these people make great leaders, okay? Because they have that driver to want to do something that's significant and with meaning. If love and connection is one, These people need a lot of communication. They need to chat about their personal goals aside from the business and challenges. This is really important. You need to find out what are their life drivers, right? What are they doing in their life that drives them and motivates them aside from the business? All right. They need to know that their purpose matters and their friendship is important to you. All right. People where love and connection is a driver, and they need one-on-one time a lot more than everybody else. Growth. These people thrive on PD. They need to be given ideas to expand their potential, okay? And suggest new ways to develop their skills, and ask them to be leaders, ask them to train other people, ask them to do one-on-ones, ask them to do the small group things, share more often. They need to be very involved in the development of the team as well. And the last one is contribution. If these people are driven to that, then they need to connect with others on a humanitarian effort. So they're the people that are going to be volunteering in the soup kitchens and doing the races for a cause. And they need to be the ones that are in the church and just doing things that have a philanthropy and a humanitarian effort behind it. They are the volunteers and the givers on your team and within your community. And they need to be given an opportunity to help other people that are struggling. And they're the best cheerleaders and the motivators on your team. So you need to give them an opportunity to really, drive home the motivation and drive home, the really heart-wrenching, the stuff that pulls at your heartstrings, getting them to share their story, that kind of stuff is going to really bring a different dynamic into your team. So guys, at the end of the day, your needs will define your why. They'll define your purpose. It will center you when you really figure out what things that have led you to this point in your life right now and how they relate to your 6 core human needs. You're going to be able to develop yourself and how you help people in a way that provides fulfillment. If you lead with wanting to provide people fulfillment, that is how you become a dynamic coach. And I think that's how we change the world. So that's it. Thank you.
That was really pretty cool. I mean, first of all, I guarantee people are going to have something to say and some feedback, but I just want to say thank you for sharing your story and sharing it with us for the first time, because I know we've told you, like, on our market council calls, like, you need to speak because we've never heard, we don't know. And it was a pretty amazing story. I give you a lot of credit. I really do. Because like I said, nobody knew that. You didn't know. You never told anyone, so we didn't know. So I give you a lot of credit for being where you are today.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And on the second half of the call, I'm really excited to go back and listen to this again and get the slides and look through them and do this for myself to start, because I know everybody always talks about how you need this why that makes you cry. And I always feel like mine has always kind of been a surface deep, and I have never figured out how to get it deeper. So I'm kind of excited to sit down and read through that stuff and do my own, and then hopefully expand and help other people use it. So
Awesome.
Thank you again. Does anybody else have anything?
Oh, absolutely. I was chomping at the bit for you to stop talking. First of all, you are a warrior, like, hands down. I don't even have the words. Like, I am in awe of your strength and your courage and your bravery, and unbelievable. Truly, what an inspiration. And to think of the legacy that you get to leave to your children it's unreal. So thank you so much for sharing your story. It really just hit me in such a way, and not really because there's some similarities, but I have my own mother issues, not necessarily the same. So I'm in awe. I almost don't even have words, which is that's a huge deal for me, because I usually have lots and lots and lots to say.
Thank you.
What else I want to say is I totally relate to the fact that I've been asked so many times about my why. And I can never answer it
Mhm.
ever because I can't, like, I don't know. Like, I want to make money. I don't want my husband to have to work. Like, there are all these like things. But until you said that stuff and you started listing off those 6, I actually started crying because I was like, holy crap. Like, there it is. And as soon as you were listing them and you started to talk about what they were, I was like, okay. So I'm excited to re-listen and then check out the slides and do this exercise. Thank you so much. I'm at such a place right now with my business, and this is perfection. And I really appreciate everything that you shared, truly.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you.
I definitely want to say thank you too. I was somebody who had a very strong why to start out with, and I've just had a lot of life change. I started 2.5 years ago, and throughout the 2.5 years, just a lot of different stuff has changed, and so I'm excited to use this to redefine. Because that's something that I've been picking up over the past couple of months too, is that you don't have, your why doesn't have to stay the same, that it can evolve with you. And so I'm kind of anxious to take these tips back and look through them. Now I'm curious too, was it just a conference that you went to, or is there a book that's associated with these principles as well?
So Tony Robbins teaches this in his conference. I've only read one of his books, but I did hear him speak about this at GoPro. He'll be at GoPro this year also. And he's actually coming to New Jersey in July. But he does, he does his UPW, which is Unleash the Power Within, like throughout the year. So I highly recommend you guys, if this has piqued your interest, go see Tony Robbins. And I'll tell you want to see him soon, because with his voice, he's not going to be doing as many conferences. So you need to go as soon as you can to one of his Unleash the Power Within conferences at the very least. And you could do the fire walk and all that stuff too, which is really cool. But yeah, thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? You just got to unmute yourself.
Nina, how come you haven't shared that story yet?
I think it's hard. It still makes me cry. It's still like raw, especially because obviously like it spans so many years, right? And then obviously my mom passing away, so there's still like unresolved things. But that changes today. And moving forward, I can continue to hone it and kind of like make that a part of my driving force. So yeah.
And for all that, anybody that has not been to Super Saturday, I've met Nina's daughter every time. And you should be so proud of the daughter that you have. Really amazing young woman, and she takes care of your baby when you need her, and she's kind and soft-spoken and smiles and willing to help. You should be extremely proud of yourself because it's so hard. And you did really good. And I'm sorry that I didn't know your story. And what I find amazing is that even someone like you who's been through the years with Beachbody, that it's okay that you just found that why now, because we're so trained to have a why from the day one, and that kind of it's okay that we're still figuring it out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry, but I've met her and your husband and your new baby and your life, and well done, Nina. And you're beautiful. I always thought you were beautiful, but your story makes you even just amazing, because I can't relate at all. I had the opposite of you, and so when I see someone like you be able to make it in the world, both professionally and in your family, it's amazing that you could be here to speak to us. So I'm completely awed by you. So, and you you did it, you made it, and you have every bit of your mom would be proud of you. I know she would, and your grandmother too.
Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, I wasn't expecting to cry. I tried not to.
But I've met her, and it's pretty awesome.
Who else has mom issues?
Of course.
I have dad issues.
There we go. That counts too. Mom or dad. Parent issues. If you have parent issues.
Well, if you don't mind me just saying, I never knew your story either, and I've been coming to New Jersey Super Saturday for a few years now, and I think what impressed me the most was actually that you tried so hard to make amends with your mom, even after everything that she did to you and your daughter. And I think that takes a different kind of person, because people, what I'm finding in the family dynamics is that people give up on those relationships and they don't always try to mend them. And the fact that you did, I mended things with my father, and I'm so glad I did, because he passed last July, and I ended up, having a decent relationship with him before he did. But there are certain, so many people give up so quickly. And I think that the fact that you still went after that and decided in your own way to forgive and move past that just shows like what kind of person you are for even this type of business, that you can just move past anything. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely takes a lot of personal development, I'll tell you that. But and even then, I didn't even know about that kind of stuff, but I just knew that there is a reason. Because if I think about it, like, if I didn't have my daughter then, my mom never would have known her, right? Because she obviously passed away. So, like I said, everything happens for a reason. And I'm just glad that they got to have that relationship too later on. So, but thank you. And yeah. Who's excited to write out their story, right? And figure out their, go ahead, April.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing this, because I've been a coach for 2.5 years, and I haven't really connected with my why. And the pieces are right here. I have them now. I can go back and do that. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Honestly, that makes me, do you guys feel more connected, like in a way that you can figure it out if you struggled with that? Yeah. It's hard. Like, it hit me when I was at the conference, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what's missing. As much as we tell people to figure out their why, we're not telling them how to get there. So yeah, I knew that I had to connect. If you think about your life, how we can, because our life is what connects us, right? Our struggles and our triumphs, all of that stuff brings us so close together. And we're not that different. And we all have, similar things we've gone through. And that is what helps us to really feel connected. So I think if you guys really focus on like where you were and then what you're drawn to, it's really going to help you to get over whatever hurdles you're having. So so please keep in touch with me also. Let me know if you figured it out, and what that's doing and how you're helping your team also. Do this as an exercise together, maybe do a powwow or something where you guys go through it. I actually did this on my team call. I did a simpler version, and I read the 6 human needs, and I had everybody share their 2. And what was really cool about it is they all were like, oh, me too, oh, you too. And they found something deeper and more meaningful that connected them, because somebody was an introvert and somebody didn't realize somebody else had this issue or that, or went through this. So I highly recommend you guys, all do it together and maybe share 1 or 2 of your needs that you think you're drawn to and why, like what the reason is. So that's my last tidbit.
All right, last chance. Anybody want to ask a question or say anything real quick before we let Nina go? All right. Okay. Well, again, Nina, thank you so much for hopping on and talking to us and sharing your story and the training. I mean, I think it's going to be a big breakthrough for a lot of people, and I'm excited this is a re-listen, and this is definitely share and force it down the rest of the coaches' throats call.
Awesome. Thank you all, guys. I appreciate you guys so much.